You want to get chickens, but one of your worries is that they're going to be too noisy. And if your hens are noisy, then your neighbors are going to complain to you, and complaining neighbors are going to stress you out. Have a listen to my hens, and I've also measured the sound with a decibel app, so I'm going to share my results. Hi, I'm Beth. Weekly, I share about my little flock of hens in my little garden in the United Kingdom. Keep watching if you're thinking about getting chickens or you have chickens but you're not happy with how things are going. Gotcha. Yeah, cock-a-doodle-doo. Hey. Background noise in my garden is about 50 decibels. Me talking right now was registering around like 60 decibels, and the loudest I was able to record my hens when they were at their biggest crows, when they were talking about their eggs, was 80 decibels. Most of the time, my hens are just making soft clucking noises. And on an extra noisy day, my hens will make about up to 15 minutes of like a loud crowing noise. Not like rooster crowing, but still a hen's crow. They can still make some sound. So in the morning, my hens will start kind of like balking in anticipation of the morning routine. So they know we're coming. They're excited to interact with us. So I'll start hearing this balking in the morning. Bok, bok, bok. And the morning routine is simply because they're still in avian flu lockdown, so we just clean out the poop, we hang up like a root vegetable for them to peck at, or a little hanging seed dispenser to peck at, or scatter some grit on the floor. My toddler likes to come out with me, so she's always trying to like touch the chickens and stroke them. Or sometimes she's a bit cheeky and still learning, and she'll grab the feathers, and she can pick them up now too. She's surprises me she does that. So the hens start balking in the anticipation of being excited for us to come out and for them to see us in the coop with them. Sometimes before or after laying eggs, our hen will do the crow, like bok, 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 and that's like the loudest noise that my hens will make. And if I'm like in the play park behind our house, I can hear our hen when she's making that loudest noise. And it's not loud, but my ears like tuned to it. I'm like, oh, I can hear the hen in the play park. Very faint but you can still hear it. Sometimes my hens will go days and they will not crow about their eggs at all. And then all of a sudden there'll be a couple of days where they will lay eggs and they'll be excited and they'll start doing the bok, 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 bok. So if I'm home, what I'll do is I'll come out and I'll just do some stuff around the garden and kind of hope to distract the hen to stop her egg laying calling. Because if I let them just go for it, the hen would go for like 5 minutes probably about her egg, give or take. And if it's one of those days where they're really excited, it could be up to like 15 minutes of this loud noise about the eggs. Not all at the same time, but like, a few minutes here, a few minutes here. Maybe it adds up to about 15 minutes. So if I'm home, I'll go out, potter about, they'll see me, they'll get distracted, they'll forget that they're excited about the eggs, and they'll stop. So I'll do that. I also have noticed that when one of our hens has been in a molt, so has stopped laying eggs, but now she's finished her molt, she's regrown her feathers, and she's relaying eggs again. Those first few days, that first week where she's relaying again, everyone notices like, oh, she's in the nest box. She hasn't been in the nest box for a while. So there's kind of like this excitement, and that hen will be like, look, I'm back in the nest box. So I feel there's kind of an extra excitement after a molt as well. My hens also make that loudest crow noise when they're making like an alert call. So if like one of them gets separated on their own and then they see like a neighborhood cat walking through our garden or something falls and it startles them and it's like, where's the rest of my flock? They'll be like, "Bop, bop, 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 bop." But then once they see the rest of the flock, they're like, okay, we're all here. It's okay. And if your local laws allow you to keep hens on your property, then they're allowed to make the normal natural noises that they would. So, for example, if you're allowed to keep dogs or horses at your property, it wouldn't make sense that you can keep the horse but it can't neigh, or you can have dogs but they can never bark. So it's the same with hens. They can make their normal noises if that's part of the allowance with the law. If a dog's barking all the time, well, then there's something not quite right. That's not healthy or natural for a dog. They might be anxious and bored or stressed, so that needs to be managed. And same with the hens. If they are clucking and bucking all the time, then they also need enrichment, like things to peck at, things to scratch at, things to do. So those things can be managed. I've been keeping hens since 2016, and we've lived in 2 different places, and I've never had a complaint about my hens. So, and I live in a mid-terraced house within a village in like an industrial area. So we have some background noise from like construction vehicles. We're by a motorway. There's a play park. We're also kind of by a river, and we get like migrating geese. So they'll get the honking from the skies, or we've got seabirds that make these loud cawing noise. So there is some background noise where I'm at anyways. And as I live in a mid-terraced house, my neighbors are really close. It's not like I'm saying my neighbors are, 2 acres away or half a mile down the street. No, like my neighbors are like, right there. They can hear and see everything that happens in my house, in my garden. My neighbors have always been generally more noisier than like our hens. What I mean is like, some neighbor has like a hot tub with a loud motor, or dogs that bark like all the time when they, see a leaf fall from a tree, or they have garden parties with loud music and lots of guests. And it's nice, isn't it wonderful people are living their lives? I'm just bringing this up that it would, even if they did have a problem with the chickens, which no one has complained, it would be a bit hypocritical of them to be like, they're making noise, when it's like, well, you make a lot of noise too. But isn't that lovely? Everyone's living their lives, enjoying themselves. That's how it should be. So what do you think? Were my chickens louder or quieter than you were expecting? You can leave a comment below. I've made a video also about getting grass to grow back in your garden after your chickens have eaten it all. So go ahead and click on that, and I'll see you over there.